Hey everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of the 2-Minute EdTech Tip. My name is Jerry Switek, and today I'm going to share with you something that we've been waiting for a very long time. If you ever use Google Forms, one of the most frustrating things about it is that we could not use images in our questions or our answers. Well, now we can. I came across this tip on Twitter from a gentleman named Carl Hooker. You can follow him as Mr. Hooker on Twitter, who found out some information from a gentleman named James Eichmiller, who created a Google script that allows us to use images in our Google Forms. And I'm going to walk you through those steps right now. It's really quite simple. So the first thing I'm going to do is in Google Drive, I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new folder. So I'm going to click on Create Folder, and I'm going to name this folder GFWI. And in the blog post or in the YouTube description, depending on how you're watching this, I will have the link to Carl's blog post where he wrote about this, and also the original blog post from James, so you can reference those if you need to. So I'm going to click on Create to create that new folder. And then what I'm going to do is right-click on that folder and select Share, and then Share again, because I need to change the permissions on this folder from private to public on the web. And anyone view access is exactly what you need here, so you don't have to change that at all. I'm going to click on Save, and then click on Done. Now that I've shared that folder, I'm going to go into that folder, and I'm going to create a new folder called IMG. So I click on Create and Share, and it's automatically going to share that folder as well, since it's already inside this shared folder, GFWI. Now I need to get a few images. So let me open up a new tab here, and we'll go out to images.google.com. And I'm going to pull a few images down. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is that since we're going to be adding these to some of our answers and so forth in Google Forms, the larger the image, the worse it's going to look. So at the most, maybe 500 by 500 pixels is going to work out well. I'm actually going to look for some smaller images than that, since I want to use them in the answers for my Google form. So I just searched for hockey here. I'm a huge hockey fan, and we're right in the middle of the hockey playoffs, which is exciting. So I'm actually going to go ahead and click on Search Tools here and specify the size image that I'm looking for. And in this case, I'm just going to look for 200 by 200 pixels. Click on Go. And I've got a few of these logos here, which I'll go ahead and pull down. Let's go ahead and pull down this Canada one first. So let's save this image. And since I have the Google Drive program installed on my computer, I can actually just navigate right there on my computer into GFWI, into IMG, and save those right into that IMG folder. And didn't want to close that out. Let's go back out here to images.google.com and do the same search again. See how these search tools are used there. We'll do the same thing, 200 by 200. Click on Go. And I'm going to grab this Moto Hockey logo here. One other note, too, the images do have to be JPEGs, so either JPG or .jpeg. But if you do happen to save a .jpeg, you would need to rename it to a .jpg, just to be on the safe side. And you also want to name these something easy to remember, because we're actually going to have to go back and type those names into our Google form. So I'm actually going to come back in here and rename this one to Hockey 2. Oops, Hockey, I don't want Hockey 2, I want Hockey 1. Come on, Jerry. Alright, I'll close this folder out. And I'm going to actually pull down one more image, slightly larger, because I also want to show you how we can add this into our questions. So I'll give you a slightly larger image there, and let's pull down this Penn State logo. It looks like it might be their Twitter image here, so let's save image as, and I'm going to call this, and here we go. So this is a .jpeg. I'm just going to remove that E, and I'm going to call this one Hockey 3, and click on Save. So I've saved a few images there. I'm going to come back here into my Google Drive. going to go back into the root of the drive, and I'm going to create my new form. So I click on Create, select Form, and I'm just going to go with the default theme. Of course, you can choose any one you'd like. And I'm just going to call this one Hockey. So my question title will be name, actually, let's do it this way. Which is your favorite logo? And of course, spelling matters. So now here in my answers, the way I'm going to bring the images in is using brackets. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a double open bracket, or a double left bracket, and I'm going to type in the name of the image that I want to show up in that answer. And then I close it with a double right bracket. Do the same thing for my next answer, hockey2.jpg, and close that. And then I'm going to just click on Done. Now the next step is crucial. Because what we're actually running is a Google script, I have to go out and I need to grab the live form address. So here's that live form address. I just clicked on View Live Form. So I'm going to copy this address, and then I'm going to run the script. And when you run the script for the very first time, it's going to require that you authorize it to run in your Google Drive account. And typically the first time you do that, you won't have to do that again. But I'm going to go ahead then and just paste that live form URL right in that box, and then click on Create a Form with Images. And in just a few moments, it's going to run that script in my Google Drive. And what should happen now when I click on this click here to view the form link, I should see, there it is. There's my survey, my Google form, with my images added as my answers. How cool is that? This is something that I have been waiting for years with Google Forms, and now we can finally do it. So let me show you one more. Let's go back out here. I'm going to close that out. Let's go back into my form here, and I want to add an item. Let's add some paragraph text. And I'm going to go ahead and add an image to my question. So in my question title, all I do is put in my double left bracket. I'm going to put in that larger image, hockey3.jpg, close the brackets. And then my help text may be describe the image above. And I'm going to click on Done down here at the bottom. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go to View Live Form. Just going to reload this script. So View Live Form, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste this address again into that script and create a form with images. It's going to create for me a brand new URL for that form. And when I do that, you can see, there it is. There is my next question right here. And maybe I'll throw a separator or something in there to differentiate between the two. But there is the text, or the image rather, where my text would normally be for my question. So again, I will reference Mr. Hooker, his original blog post where he described the method he uses to create these forms, as well as the original blog post that started it all from James Eichmiller. And of course, if you have any questions about anything, you can reach me on Twitter. I am Jay Switek on Twitter, and I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this episode number 2 of the 2-Minute EdTech Tip.
The internet, is that thing still around?